Welcome on into the Auto Trader pregame as we get you set for a really good one tonight on this Wednesday. Special edition on NBA TV. It's the Lakers against the Jazz. He's the NBA champion, Brendan Haywood, the 2007 Coach of the Year, Sam Mitchell. I'm Jared Greenberg. Good news for the Lakers. They'll have LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Kyle Kuzma all full forces in the lineup tonight. What's impressed you most, Coach Mitchell, about the Lakers during this stretch, winning 11 of 12?
I just think how well and quickly they gelled together. Look, obviously their defense sets them apart from everyone, but when you look at this basketball team, and you expect that when you have LeBron James, but for everyone to just line up and take his marching orders from LeBron, and the fact that LeBron has made it a point of emphasis. Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach, so he understood when Frank was named the coach that they were going to hang their hat on defense. LeBron has bought in, AD has bought in, and Brenda, you know this. Once your two superstars buy in, the rest is a wrap. Now it's all about putting them in the right system. And just like coaches have, Frank Vogel, led by Frank Vogel, they have put this team in the right positions, offensively and defensively. They're getting the most out of this team. And I think right now you see the Lakers playing as good a basketball as anyone in the league.
Yeah, I like the way this Lakers team has played, and what's really impressed me has been the defense, especially the defense from one LeBron James. I was very critical of his defense last year. This year, I'm not as critical because he's really stepping it up. You're seeing the chase down blocks. You're seeing his closeouts are better. He's taking the challenge, guarding guys individually. So I love what he's doing defensively. Anthony Davis has helped his defense along with Frank Vogel. The defensive unit as a whole for the Lakers is a lot better than last season. I think that's their calling card right now. And then what I also like about this Lakers team is I think there's another level that they can get to. I think they can take it up a notch. I think they can take it up a notch when you look at the fact that Kyle Kuzma isn't playing that well right now.
Yeah, and Jared, I think people are talking about AD not being in that MVP conversation, but let's put AD in that best defender.
Right.
He's right now, he's got a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year award. So I think there's enough of accolades to go around for this Lakers team, but the most important thing that they want is to compete for a championship.
AD leads the league in blocks right now. Lakers have the 5th best defense in all of basketball. They're taking on the Jazz, who are struggling a bit, but the good news for the Lakers is that they will be at full strength tonight. Let's hear from Frank Vogel just a couple of moments ago addressing the media.
Hey, Frank, if we could start with a flu-like symptoms update for AD and everybody else on the team. You expect to have everybody?
I do expect to have everybody. You know, he and Kyle are probably the two that are being most impacted by it, Anthony and Kyle. But a few other guys, you know, have some stuff going on too, and but everybody's going to play through it.
You discussed last night the whole thing with, you know, AD at the 5 and bringing Gobert out. You guys have any further discussion with your staff and know how you want to play that tonight?
We did have further discussion with the staff, and we'll announce the starters when we have to. We're going to hold it for now.
Assumed so. So a little bit different from early in the season. Bogdanovich is in this case now Conley is going to be out. What have you seen from Utah the last week or so, and how do you think those two things impact your matchup?
Well, they had a tough trip, and you know, regardless of who's in or out for them, you know, I know their coach is, you know, holds them to a high standard of play, and we expect them to come out swinging. You know, they have a proud organization. They're a really good team, in particular at home here. They haven't been struggling at home. They're 8-1 at home. So, you know, despite their recent trip, we do expect them to come out and play a great game. They are a little different with Conley out. You know, Mitchell will probably do a lot more ball handling. Ingles, who's been struggling a little bit, will probably get the ball in his hands a little bit more. And, you know, they're going to have plenty of firepower to beat us if we're not at our best.
Right. If you have guys who aren't at 100%, you know, sickness-wise, do you watch them to see if they're getting winded and try to pull them, maybe give them shorter stints than you normally would?
We'll keep an eye on that, in particular the guys that are under the weather, for sure.
Frank, what has allowed you to be so good defensively?
We have defensive talent, and we have defensive intelligence, and we have defensive leadership. You know, we have guys, you know, LeBron in particular is really great at talking out coverages in the scouts, in the film sessions, and then once on the court, you know, just his ability to recognize the action that's coming and, you know, put guys in places is a little bit like a middle linebacker type of ability. But, you know, we've got good speed on the perimeter. We've got good length at the basket. You know, so you know, we've got all the tools to be a great defensive team, you know, if we continue to commit.
How much of your principles that you had in Indiana where you were that good defensively are you still using today, or has the game changed too much, or is it preparation? What of that have you carried over?
Well, the scheme is had to be broken. You know, we had to break the mold and kind of recreate it. But, you know, some of the the pillars of your, just sound fundamental defense obviously are still in play. But the rules have changed with the style of play having changed so drastically in the last 5 years or so. You got to do things differently on a defensive end with regard to switching and how to keep your length at the basket and whatnot. And so I guess a little bit of both, a blend.
All right, that is Frank Vogel. Welcome back to the Auto Trader pregame show, getting you set for the Lakers and Jazz coming up in a few moments here live on NBA TV. He was a bit coy with the starting lineup with reporters a few moments ago. It appears by early indications that it'll be the same five, with McGee starting at the center spot and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope starting at the guard spot alongside, obviously, Danny Green, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. Are you surprised at all with the conversation with Rudy Gobert, what they may want to do tonight?
No, I'm not surprised at all. Normally coaches like continuity. They want to keep that same starting five. So JaVale can go out there and bang with Rudy Gobert. And if he gets 2 early fouls, that's why you have Dwight Howard on the roster. So they're not worried about shaking up that starting five at all. I think the biggest thing for them is the sickness that's going around the team. How do you manage the minutes? What will guys look like out there? Utah, you already have the altitude that's a problem, and now you have some guys that might have some flu-like symptoms. So it's that time of year, everybody's getting sick, so got to watch out. Sam, you got your flu shot?
I'm going to get one.
Make sure you get one.
Yeah, I just think, look, Frank Vogel, he wants to save that ace in the hole for the fourth quarter. Look, why bring AD out there early in the game and have him bang against Gobert, maybe pick up some cheap fouls? Save it for the fourth quarter when it's winning time. If it's a tight game, you already know Frank Vogel, and Quinn Snyder knows at some point it's going to happen. Frank Vogel is going to put AD at the center position to draw Gobert away from the basket. But you don't need to do it to start the game. Stay with your normal rotation. Keep everybody in their place. And as the game goes on and you see the key moments to when you want to, mess with Utah a little bit by bringing AD at that small five position, then you roll him out there because they're going to have to adjust. And if I'm Utah, look, if Gobert could just keep him out of the paint and force him to shoot threes, it could actually be a plus for the Utah Jazz when you look at this thing defensively and offensively.
And I want to see how willing Anthony Davis is to play the five against a big man like Gobert, because in the past, he hasn't wanted the smoke. He hasn't wanted those type of matchups. He's always wanted to be at the four because he didn't want to guard those type of guys. He didn't want to take that type of pounding, a guy with a lot of injury history. So I want to see, will Anthony Davis embrace that matchup if it does come?
And speaking of the sickness part of it, the Lakers play every other day through Sunday. Friday at Portland, Sunday back at home against Minnesota before they get a couple of days off. This dynamic duo has been absolutely sensational, as you probably expect. LeBron, 9th in the league in scoring. He's 1st in assists. Anthony Davis, 7th in the league in scoring, 1st in blocked shots.
That boy good.
Really good.
All right, to talk more about the game you'll see on NBA TV coming up at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, is a man who works for Spectrum Sportsnet. He's a 7-time champion, but you know him as Big Shot Bob. Robert O'Reilly joining us here on NBA TV. Appreciate your time here. So let's talk about the team you've been covering quite extensively here. Lakers have won 11 of 12, but all that seems to be thrown out the window until last night because they got their best win of the season at Denver. How would you explain the vibe in LA surrounding this team right now with all the excitement?
The excitement around this team is incredible. I hadn't seen this excitement since the Kobe Shaq era, and the fans are talking about not just with the Lakers, with the Clippers. LA is booming, but what the Lakers did last night was exceptional. To go into Denver, a very hard place to play, to hold them in check, to hold Jokic in check, and to come out with a win. You can tell they really wanted that game because they jumped on them early, and that's a sign of a true champion. Jump on a team early and let them know who's boss.
Do you think they've heard the chatter about how weak their schedule was leading into the month of December?
Yes, that's all the chatter's been like, oh, you haven't played anybody. It's the NBA. Everybody's good. Any given night, you can get beat by someone because this is the NBA. They're all professionals. They go out and play hard. Yes, their schedule has been a little weak, and everybody they've been playing is probably under 500. They had a good game against the Clippers. They lost that. Had a good game against Toronto. They lost that one. But still, though, they've been playing extremely well. They have great defensive presence. And when you got a team that says we are concentrating on defense, because in this day and age, everybody wants to talk about putting up threes, having good offense. But the Lakers are talking about having a good defensive team. They're going out and leading the league in shot blocking and doing things of that nature to make sure they secure those wins.
Yeah, Lakers now 5th in the league in defense, and that's exactly where I want to go. Last night, the talk around the team is that the push is already on for Anthony Davis to be named Defensive Player of the Year. Frank Vogel said it. Are you buying it?
I'm buying it because if you watch the way he's playing, he's moving his feet. We know about the shot block, but when you catch him on the perimeters, on those switches, he's moving his feet. He's keeping guards in front of him. He's doing the things that most bigs cannot do on the perimeter. And then when you take him on the inside, he's blocking shots. You would think with Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, those would be the guys that's blocking all shots. But no, he is coming up blocking 3 shots a game, doing things that, and when you tell someone you're going to play defense and you go out and back it up with great defense, he deserves right now to be the defensive player of the year.
Well, last night playing through an illness, he's had the shoulder injury. LeBron hasn't missed time. What's your take where all the conversation around the league is about load management, guys missing games? These two seem like they have a focus to try and play all 82. Is it worth it for the team, for these guys to go pedal to the metal in the regular season with what's at stake for them, big picture?
You talk to an old school guy. You win the games you can win. If you want to load manage, win the first half, beat the brakes off people, and sit the second half. That's how you load manage because home court advantage is so important in this day and age. If you go out and you win all these games, you get home court advantage, that's what you play for. You want to play for the best record in the league. But if you want to load manage, look at the Clippers are showing you what load manage does. Every time Kawhi load manages, they lose. So my whole thing is you play this game to win, and that's what LeBron and AD want to do. They want to play this game to win. They can find games where you can like swap out and get rest because that's what they do in this day and age, but I don't think they want to do that. You know, you look at LeBron, he looks a little tired. If this guy who's been to all these finals in a row, if this guy has this many years on his resume and has been the leader of this league, not just his team, but this league in the face, and he's still not load managing, that says a lot about him.
Is there a different focus this year that you see from LeBron?
Oh, it is so much energy. His focus is on defense. If you look at him last year, he took a lot of possessions off. Nobody wanted to say that, and he probably won't say that, but if you look at the film, it shows you he took a lot of possessions off. You didn't really see him run guys down and block shots. If you look at the game last night in Denver, he ran the guy down, blocked the shot. He got back on the offensive. He got back on the – he's doing a lot of things that we hadn't seen from him. I think him having this last year off where he was injured gave him the energy and the life to say, hey, this is a new LeBron. This is LeBron that everybody talk about being one of the top defensive players in the league. Now he's going out and showing us why he can be the best player ever to play this game.
What I think it's impressed me most, Robert, about this win streak or winning 11 of 12 that the Lakers have been on is that their supporting cast, really, when you look at the numbers, haven't been very good. Kuzma's not shooting the ball well. Danny Green's not shooting the ball well. Who do you think this team is leaning on right now for a third scorer, or do they not know yet who that third go-to option is?
I don't think they know. I don't think they really care because it's by committee. You know, one night Green is shooting a 3. You know, Kuz has been up and down with an array of injuries. You got AC Fresh, Caruso, who's coming off the bench playing good. You got KCP, who's been up and down. You got Avery Bradley, who's out. You know, I don't think it really matters because when you have